What's a wholesome secret you have? In high school, I started a compliments page for my school on Facebook. People would write in compliments about each other and I'd post them anonymously. I was deeply depressed and wanted to make a positive impact in my community when I felt really powerless. I never told anyone who was behind it, but knowing the kindness people showed their friends and classmates was really special and solidified my faith in humanity when I was at a real low point in my life. Due to a complicated inside joke among my friends, I run a meme account on Instagram called great_blue_heron. It's literally just an account my friends follow where I post low-effort memes about herons, complete with a heron profile picture. For some reason though, every few days random wildlife photographers will tag the account in pictures they take of great blue herons. I've never told anyone this, but after a while I started liking and commenting on all the posts, usually complimenting them on their photography skills. It's nice to think that my obscure shitposting account can brighten someone's day with a little chaotic energy. When I was little, I used to secretly put my money in my parents' wallets so they could have it without knowing. Well, fuck, now don't I feel guilty for stealing the little shit's tooth fairy money. When I was little, I actually did the opposite of this. In our house we have a safe. In the safe there is an envelope of our online accounts and PW in case one of us dies. One of the notes is instructions to an email account my wife doesn't know. If she accesses the account, she'll find hundreds of love letters or love emails to her. I put together a surprise Christmas for my sister, her husband, and their 5 kids about a decade ago after finding out they didn't have any money for presents due to emergency expenses. Dropped off family presents for the 12 days prior to the holiday. Coats one night, a big dinner one night, hot chocolate kits, etc. And once my then husband ridiculously rich family found out what I was doing, they joined the cause. By Christmas Eve we had about $4,000 in presents ranging from clothes to toys to Home Depot gift cards to drop off. Hired a Santa look-alike to ring the doorbell at 10 p.m. and drop the toys off for us. He also ended up giving them $500 of his own money. She still has no idea who was behind it to this day, and I hope she never finds out. She and her now grown kids still talk about the magic Christmas Santa visited us. When I was very young, I was told all dogs had very good hearing, so whenever I saw one in public, I would whisper how good they are. I tell each of my pets I love them and good night before we go to sleep. I whisper it in their ears when they're mad at me, so that they can't stay mad. I want to be a dad. I want that more than any career goal I've ever made. Even though that hasn't happened yet, I've had the opportunity to adopt college kids in my town, teaching them to dance, helping them figure out dating, making them tea, teaching them games, and talking through all sorts of life with them. This year I get to laugh with them and I get to cry with them, and I make them better off when they return to their families. One of them carved me a walking stick with a beautiful small bird whittled into the handle. I almost started crying as he said the words, "Happy Father's Day. You're a good dad." I'm about 14 years older than my sister, who's going to be a junior in high school in the fall. She's extremely smart, and has been taking classes for college credit since 8th grade. She's already being scouted by recruiters from some of the best schools in the country, including MIT and Cornell. She doesn't know it yet, but wherever she chooses to go to school, it's already paid for. I set up a trust fund to give her a full college education with no debt. Every now and then when I find cool-looking trees I'll give them a pat smiley face. I'm the person secretly sending the flowers the elderly ladies at the nursing home once a month. They deserve it and are the sweetest things. I knew she was the one when stories. I like to envision my future husband telling a story like that someday. That hopefully doesn't begin with seeing me drunk and getting tased by 5 cops. Plot twist, your future husband will turn out to be one of the cops who was tasing you. I knew she was the one by how elegantly she twitched on the floor. I was walking home from my bus stop when I saw this old lady being super careful crossing a shortcut that goes through some houses. It was winter and there were snow and ice on the ground. She looked like she was struggling, and it also looked dangerous because she seemed fragile, in a way. I immediately offered my help and she accepted. I held her hand and walked slowly through the shortcut. Then I asked, where does she plan to go? She told me she was going to the bus stop, so I helped her reach all the way there. I don't know why, but I asked where she was going and she told me to the nearest Walmart. So I also offered my help. She then accepted my offer, which I was not expecting, and I ended up doing groceries with her and walking her home. She was a very sweet lady and calm-here. That little trip made me feel really good for a whole month, and I still remember now and then about it, and it makes me smile a bit. At the time, I remember thinking about asking why is she doing groceries at her age. I was really curious, but I held back. I always wonder. I won't share this with anyone, but once I was at a diner that had one of those grapple arcade machines. I saw two little girls trying to get an Elsa stuffed figure, and they ended up losing their money trying to get it. So I called them over and said I would win it for them. Once I said it, I was scared cause I realized I promised something that I couldn't do, but I got super lucky and got it first try. I gave it to the girls. It made their day, and their smiles made mine. Moral of the story: little things like that can make a big difference. So go make someone's day. That happened to me once when I was like 5, but I still remember how happy that little stuffed bear made me. I even remember the guy's Letterman jacket being red and his girlfriend put one of those temporary tattoo things on my hand. Little stuff like that sticks with you when you're young. It was my first clear memory of a complete stranger being selfless and kind to me. So I have no doubts those girls will remember you. I like paying the checks anonymously for couples dining out. This is absolutely one of my top 5 things I'd do if I was wealthy. I hope we eat adjacently one day. Smiley face. I send my aunt $50 in the mail every month. She doesn't know it's from, and it's all I can afford. But she's a single mom of 2 teenage boys who eat her out of house and home and don't contribute shit. I've berated them many times, but they see a free home and play video games 24/7 and don't care that their mom works 14-hour days at her own business just because she can't afford to pay for staff. No one knows it's me, and she'll never find out. But I know it helps her buy groceries, so I'll keep on doing for as long as I can. I have more videos of my friends laughing and just being generally happy saved than I have of anything else. I saw my boyfriend's Reddit account by accident. Now, I give him upvotes every time he posts without him knowing about it. I live in a village that is like 80% old people, meaning they can't walk up to the church and see their loved ones' graves very often. Once a month I go into the graveyard and clean all the graves and make sure they have fresh flowers on them and they look nice. I got caught once by an elderly lady who has since died. I take extra time on hers because she was just so sweet. I keep a list of things that I observe people I love enjoying or wanting, so I know what to get them for Christmas birthday presents. I have a couple of relatives that do this. You are all amazing. I try to remember something special for someone care about and end up with bupkis 99% of the time. The other 1% is no great shakes either. Then I open a gift that is just perfect and I know someone was listening to something I said 6 months ago and remembered it. I hooked up my friend with his crush without both of them knowing. They are going now 3 years strong. A few years ago I was out with a friend at a restaurant celebrating and he feels super awkward about having stuff paid for him. So he asked us all not to pay for his dinner. I gave the waiter my card and told her to tell him that his dinner was on the house because it was His birthday. He believed it and keeps raving about how that restaurant has great service now. He still doesn't know it was me, but it makes me smile every time he talks about how much he likes the restaurant. I watch my stepmother's streams and talk to her. She doesn't know it's me, and she always gets excited when viewers talk to her. Streams are Chillhop. My boyfriend tends to grind his teeth at night during his deepest sleep cycles, and usually while having a stressful day, monsieur, to help lull him out of the bad dream and get him to relax so he doesn't wake up with a sore jaw. I start rubbing his arm, gently call out his name, and in an overly loving whisper say things like, "I love you. You're the best. I am right here." And then ask him to please stop grinding his teeth. He always responds with happy murmurs even though he's dead asleep, and he calms down enough that he stops grinding and drifts back off to sleep without ever actually waking up. He usually has no idea when I do this, and I just smile when he says he slept great the night before. I'm so trying this. My boyfriend grinds his teeth and shouts in his sleep a lot. I never thought the two were related. I randomly ask politicians how their day is on Twitter. I never get replies. That's so rude of their aides. I'm an adult man, but I privately give my dog kisses on the head so he knows I love and care about his well-being. Before leaving for work, I would always give my pug a kiss on the forehead and tell him to not worry about his problems and that he'd be okay. Now I do the same to his urn, but tell him that I'll be okay, in case he worries. Literally every single thing I do in my life is to make my Nana proud. It's honestly the one thing I genuinely care about. She's the reason I went to college. The reason I worked hard to get a good job. The reason I lost the weight and took back control of my health. All for her. My life is wonderful because of her. I have a framed photo of my childhood cat on my nightstand. Every year my school did thing where you could buy someone a chocolate rose on Valentine's Day and choose to remain anonymous. They were like $10 and really crummy. But every year I'd save what I could and buy the people I thought were least likely to get one a rose so they had a good day. I like reading people's first kiss stories. I compliment people no matter what they look like because I'm trying to be the person I need when my depression hits hard. I spend way too much time on Amazon looking at toys for my dog. No, you don't. Your dog. I love when people play with my hair. Now mind you, I am antisocial, loudmouthed, body, vulgar, cocky, asshat of a 16-year-old boy, and goddamn am I glad that the girl I had a crush on first semester decided to sit behind me in English and just play with my hair. I mean, fuck, I felt like I was going to melt. Sometimes I smell my spouse's pillow because it smells like the monsieur. My boyfriend leaves his undershirt for me to cuddle, and I give him one of my t-shirts when we can't be together. I always flush the toilet when someone doesn't or wipe the piss drops on the seat. Yes, my brother is a fucking slut. That way no one has you accidentally sit on it when they're not paying attention. I do a lot of smaller things like that that no one really notices. I can't even count the number of times I've reconnected the chain from the handle to the flapper valve in public toilet tanks. It's not out of the goodness of my heart though. It just enrages me to know that 10 people will take a dump in the toilet that clearly isn't flushing before anybody says anything to management. My long-term partner thinks he is the champion of making coffee. Absolutely. The best. His coffee delivers a nirvana experience every morning. He's a coffee artist. When we started dating almost 10 years ago, he wooed me with his amazing coffee, freshly made each morning, with cinnamon sprinkles on top. His coffee sucks. It's bad. So bad. I sip on it for a few minutes, let it get cold, and dump it down the sink. My partner used to smoke a lot. About 3 years free of it now. And he's always had a massive sweet tooth. He puts so much sugar in the coffee that the bottom of it is a clear melted, grainy crust. He adds so much spices on top that it literally feels like drinking sand. Sometimes the layer of spice is so thick, you can barely see the liquid surface underneath it. And it's overwhelmingly sweet. You can't taste the coffee at all. But it's so heartwarming when he delivers it to my desk. Specially made just for me. This is the first time I've admitted this to anyone. I hate his coffee. I will take this secret to my grave. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.